Welcome to Off the Roster, brought to you by our founding partner, ProLine. Betting on ProLine is now easier than ever with their new app. Download it today and make things interesting. I'm Lindsay Dunn, joining you from Dunedin, Florida for the final few days of Blue Jays spring training alongside my favorite and most amazing co-hosts, and Dan Riccio and Cabbie. Good morning, guys. How are we feeling today?
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
We are fired up. The Blue Jays season is what, a week away? A little bit more than a week away? We're close. I think Lindsay is. Lindsay, are you okay over there?
I think about a week. And the Raptors won last night. So, yeah, we're in good spirits.
Yes, we are 8 days away from the Toronto Blue Jays home opener. There's a lot of excitement, and all of the guys that were at the World Baseball Classic, they are back. You can kind of see them walking behind me if you're watching my screen right now. And in the infield right now, which you can't see, there's a field in front of me. As is rocking his Venezuela jersey right now. The guys coming behind me also, they are the AAA, single A Toronto Blue Jays. A lot of them were able to get some playing time. Pretty much the entire infield for the Toronto Blue Jays were at the World Baseball Classic. And the biggest update I can give to you is that Kevin Gausman has a fantastic mustache, and we will have him, I think, tomorrow or Monday here on Off the Roster. But guys, let's focus on the Raptors right now.
Can we hold on that for just a moment? How do we feel about the mustache re-entering society? Like Austin Matthews, the Leo meme from the Oscars on the weekend, you know, he's got the mustache going now. Now Kevin Gausman is. How do we feel about the mustache coming back?
Well, you either look.
Go ahead, Lindsay.
You can.
I'm not a big fan, bro. You look like you should be on a database, and not the kind of database that you should. My brother-in-law, every time I saw him, I'm like, yo, are you allowed near elementary schools with that mustache? Like in some corners of the internet, like, yeah, it's a flavor saver. Like, yeah, mustache rides or whatever. That's fine. But like, I don't know. There are a lot of people on databases who have some sketchy past that have mustaches. So outside of Movember, it feels like you grow a mustache just for the joke of it and like just to get daps from your buddies. I think Dylan Cease also has a mustache, which I don't.
Oh, does he ever?
Oh, does he? Okay, well, yeah, you can verify. I don't know.
From here right now.
Lindsay, how do you feel about him? And Dan, how do you feel about him?
I love that we're having this conversation. So you can take it a couple ways. They either look like they're going to be in 70s porn, that they should be on a crazy database that you don't want to be on, that you're afraid for children, or they look pretty cool because, especially in the country music scene, that mustache never really went away. You had the blonde one with Alan Jackson. You have Riley Green if you're a fan of country music. He is rocking one. So it's very popular in country music and within the Jays clubhouse right now. So yeah, Dylan Cease, you have all the guys pretty much rocking the duster. So I'm like, when done right and they don't look like a pedophile or like they're in 70s porn, I am a fan of it. So Dan, please enlighten us with your take on this.
So, like, I think it is very like tailored to the person, but for the most part, you guys are absolutely correct. And like the big duster, you know, like the really full ones, you know, like Davis Schneider's got that. You think about Jack Morris of Blue Jays of years past, maybe like a Raleigh Fingers type thing. Some guys had some great stashes back in the day. But like these little
Burt
like
Reynolds, Tom Selleck, come on.
The little like lip garnish ones that are like light just at the top of the
They're
lip.
A perv stash.
No, those are perv stashes. You know, they're weird. I can't look beyond it. It's like the only thing I see. If you're a barista with the little lip garnish, I'm staring at it the whole time. I'm just like, I forgot my vanilla latte? I don't know, but it's just it's to me, yeah. You either got to go big or go home. Don't do the mustache at all.
I love this. You know who at one point had a great mustache, and we're going to leave it in the classy column? Buck Martinez. And this came down just a moment ago that Buck Martinez will be inducted into the Blue Jays Hall of Excellence during a ceremony on August 29th. Nice. It's going to be a concourse display throughout the Rogers Center, and this also celebrates their 50 seasons that they'll be celebrating this year. So yeah, the Hall of Excellence concourse display will be open at the Rogers Center this August. It's going to offer fans an immersive way to honor individuals who have shaped Jays baseball on the 100 level. So yeah, Buck Martinez will be inducted into the Hall of Excellence. So exciting moments happening right here at spring training surrounding the Blue Jays. We know that he recently announced his retirement from being a broadcaster, and nothing respect for Buck. So love that for him.
Deserved, right?
And
up
his
there
duster.
with Tom Cheek as great Blue Jays podcasters of old. And I mean, well deserved for Buck. He's an absolute legend.
Nothing but respect for sure.
But some of the mustaches out, yeah. But no respect for any perv mustaches out there. If you have one, shave that off, wax it off, or whatever you got to do. Get rid of it today. Don't like to tell people how to live their life, but that's a big old no-no. And I love for anybody right now hearing us have this conversation, because it's hilarious, because the players can definitely hear me. Let's go back to talking about the Raptors. Some of them do have questionable mustaches, but that game against the Bulls, we assumed that they would win. You were hoping that they would win and not be a trap game. And shout out to Sandra Kelishvili, who listened to us when we said, please hit some 3-pointers like you did in the Raptors fan game. And he hit 2 of 3. Great game by a lot of the guys, pretty much passing it around. Interesting stat was Jamal Shed didn't have any points, but he had a bunch of assists, still finishing in the plus-minus on the positive side. What did you guys make of the Raptors' just performance and how and what we wanted to see from them?
Well, they took care of business. You can definitely give them their flowers for that. The Bulls didn't provide much resistance, so it was kind of a glorified practice session. But the Raptors didn't take it lightly, and they never let their foot off the gas pedal all that much all night long. You know, watching through the first half, would they have 72 or 74 points? It was just like, and it wasn't like, you know, simple stuff. They were still doing their thing. They were playing Raptors basketball. As Cabbie, you always talk about them getting in transition, getting those rush points, also sharing the ball. You know, they had, I think, 13 assists on their first 20 field goals of the game. So they were playing what we have come to know as Raptors basketball under Darko Rajakovic.
Bro, it was, they led wire to wire. It was, I think, their third 30-point victory this season. Every starter was in double figures, including 2 off the bench. To borrow a phrase that's been around the block, Toronto understood the assignment and swept the season series. You got to beat the bad teams, and you got to beat the good teams too. One quick note, there was, in 2024, Toronto had 11 road wins. In 2025, Toronto had 12 road wins. In 2026, that is Toronto's 20th road win. So they've almost reached the same production or output in the past 2 years. So this team has absolutely turned the page, and we're heading towards a playoff season or a postseason. This is important. The next 4 opponents on the road, because these are measurement games. They're at Denver, which Denver's won 3 of its last 4 games. The Raptors last won there in 2022, so they've lost 3 in a row in Denver. All those 3 losses were by single digits. So that's Denver, currently the 6th seed in the West. Then there's Phoenix, currently the 7th seed in the West. And Phoenix has won 3 of its last 4 games at home. The Raptors beat them about a week ago by 7 points in Toronto, but then they're playing in Phoenix. And the last time the Raptors won there was in 2022. So they've lost 3 in a row in Phoenix as well. Then it's Utah. Utah is fully tanking. I can admit that.
John Collins is still having nightmares about Ant Edwards absolutely posterizing him last night.
Yeah, he
the
got baptized
ferocity on that was unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't know if he's ever fully recovered emotionally. There's still drama, and he probably still gets that meme sent to him once a week. But weirdly, the Raptors are 2-2 in their last 4 games in Salt Lake City. So there's that. And then they play in Los Angeles against the Clippers, and the Clippers are the 8th seed. Clippers are 3-2 in their last 5 games, and Toronto has lost 4 of its last 5 in LA in the Kawhi Leonard era. So these 3 of these 4 games will be tough. And those teams, as I mentioned, 6, 7, and 8 in the Western Conference are vying for a playoff spot. So this was great for confidence building. And as Dan said, Coach Rajakovic was like trying different concepts because it felt like an open run at the YMCA at times. And here's a fun one. RJ Barrett and Brandon Ingram in the first quarter outscored the entire Chicago Bulls. They had 19 points. The Bulls had 17 points. So that just tells you what kind of a game it was. But the next 3 or 4 games on the road will be litmus tests, and Toronto absolutely needs to be competitive in all of those games. And it would be great to come home with 2 of 3 wins in those tough cities, Denver, Phoenix, and LA, Lindsay.
Let's go with 3 of 3. I am ready for
3
them.
of 3 would be dope.
This road record that you're bringing up. I'm like, this is fantastic for them. And then when we talk about the road, I know a lot of fans will travel to Detroit to watch the Raptors play there. And breaking news earlier today about Detroit Pistons star Cade Cunningham. He's been diagnosed with a collapsed lung and is expected to miss an extended period of time. That is frightening. That is scary. We obviously wish him well, but that was recently what is happening in the NBA world today.
Changes
and we're actually going to bring
Eastern Conference landscape quite a bit. No timeline for his return. Obviously, hope he has a quick and speedy recovery. But scary stuff for Cade Cunningham, and another wrinkle in the Eastern Conference playoff picture.
Yeah, it is frightening, and we're going to bring in former Raptor C.J. Miles, who celebrated his birthday yesterday. So happy belated birthday to you, sir.
Happy
Thanks
belated,
for joining
CJ.
us.
Birthday and welcome. Good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning.
How y'all doing?
Excellent.
We're great. We will spare your ears and the viewers' ears by not singing you happy birthday today. And we'll just start on that note of, unfortunately, hearing that news about Cade Cunningham experiencing with a collapsed lung. Did you play with anyone, or when you were playing in the league, ever hear about that happening to someone? I know it's happened in the NHL. We have heard this from time to time, but do you remember something like that happening, or even how this could potentially change the picture in the East?
So I just found out about it, obviously, too, right before we got on. But I never had anybody get hurt like that without a blow, right? Like something like that's why I was going to look up to see if he got hit or something happened. Yeah. But that is scary stuff, man. You know, we've had some strange injuries the last couple of years in the NBA with guys like from blood clots to lungs collapsing and all these other things. So hopefully he gets well soon. And as far as the East, you know, he's a big part of that team, right? Like he's the engine, and that's going to change the way that team plays considerably, and it's going to change the way the East goes because he's going to be needed big time here coming down the stretch and into the first round of that playoffs.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting for sure. And like you mentioned, we all wish him the best of health. I know a lot of Raptors fans were so excited to see you recently in Toronto in a different way. You were sitting courtside and actually sitting on the court. For those watching, this was CJ capturing some of the game, which, yeah, I loved your moment after you posted, like, that spot not meant for somebody who is gifted with your height. But this isn't an experience that is new to you. What do you like about kind of capturing the expressions and emotions of a game that you used to play? Because it is not an easy thing to do, to capture that emotion.
It's just crazy being on this side of it, because watching the game now, you know, you spend so much time playing, and every time you watch it, not that you enjoy it, but you're always watching to take something, film somebody's habit, a stat, or you're trying to figure out rotation, things like that. To be able to go in that arena and watch the game, but just it being as beautiful as it is and being able to capture it and share how I see it and what it means to me has been like, it's been awesome.
How come they never look like that on my iPhone, CJ?
There's a little bit more glass on my camera. A little bit better glass.
These are stunning.
What was it like? What took you into photography though? Like what gave you the bug for doing something like this?
So crazy enough, early in my career, I bought my first camera like in 2009, right? And I was young, dumb, trying stuff, right? You know, stuff you don't never know what's gonna stick at that time. I ran through New York in the summers and the off season, a couple of summers with it, and then it kind of like fell off of it. So I kind of always had a thing for it. I was in and out, back and forth. And then later in my career, I just really started leaning back towards it. And now I don't leave my house without a camera. Like, even if it's just a grocery store, a gas station, if I walk outside and take the trash out, I'm taking pictures. Like, it's to the point where we go out to eat or something, and my wife just walks in the restaurant because she don't want to wait on me.
Love
that, the passion.
So it's a crazy bug for you now. That's amazing. You know, we were lamenting about the Raptor game last night. Well, not lamenting, but it was impressive win by the Raptors against the Bulls. And a lot of these games towards the end of the season here, you got playoff teams that are getting ready for the postseason, and you got about the third of the league that's kind of saying, okay, we're trying to position ourselves for the best draft pick possible. Like, how much as a playoff team or a team heading to the playoffs, do you take a lot out of these games where, you know, they're not going to be anywhere near as intense as what you're about to experience once the playoffs kick in?
I just think you try to get your guys to understand that the playoffs are starting now as much as you can, right? You try to keep them in that mode and understand that every possession matters and keep those habits turned on, because like you said, there's a lot of teams and a lot of different things going on where every game is not so locked in, right? Yeah. And it's hard to be, right? When you got people not playing their best guys whole games, rotations different, even guys you didn't know they weren't even on the scouting report really are now thrown in front of you and you're trying to figure it out. So I think that it has its own pros and cons because it challenges guys' concentration, and I think that's important going into the playoffs. But the biggest thing for people, especially at that bottom half of the conference, they're going to play a top seed, and they have to be firing when they get there.
Yeah, and for the Raptors, you know, that's been the conversation all year long is, you know, they've struggled against some of the better teams. They got a nice win over Detroit on the weekend, but they've struggled against the upper echelon teams in the NBA. And for a young team like the Raptors, what is that learning process to, okay, not just having success in the regular season, but how different it is once you get into a series and the opposing team is picking at every little weakness you have as a club?
Unfortunately, is what you said. It's experience and it's exposure to it, right? Like you got to feel it. You got to go through it. Guys got to get tested. Some guys are going to have to get embarrassed. Some guys going to have to get their first chance to have some real success at that level. Like for them to be able to turn corners, that's just how it goes. If you watch the league, like almost every champion you watch end up becoming a champion goes through the same type of spurts. The team has a couple good seasons and they have a playoff berth and they have a playoff run, another run, and then they turn that corner, right? Like it's and there's some outliers, right? But like for the most part, that's how it goes because it's just learning and experience. And you have a young team like this with guys really learning how to they're figuring out how to play together. They keep having injuries, take things out of rotation and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things to learn.
CJ, good morning. Cabbie here. Your Raptors shot 57% from the field last night, 42% from downtown, which was a great shooting performance. And maybe it's because the spirit or the embers of Michael Jordan are in the United Center. But question for you is, what's the NBA arena where you always felt like you shot better for no logical reason?
So not to toot my own horn, I had a couple. So
nice, okay,
nice.
Yeah.
So always felt good in Houston. Always felt good in Dallas. Dallas because they got the microphones on the rim, and it's just like a good feeling to hear that microphone go off the way it goes in the arena. Brooklyn, yeah, except when you're playing Dirk. We played Dirk. It was the worst because he shot the ball so high, you had to anticipate hearing the noise because you had to watch it. It was like slow motion every time. So Houston, Dallas, Phoenix, Brooklyn. I love Brooklyn.
So you had 4, lighting. Bro.
Yeah. Wow.
The lighting in New York gyms, Brooklyn and New York, like the stage lighting always, like I don't know what it was. It always made me feel good.
Oh, that's dope. What was the most Toronto thing you did while you played in Toronto? Like peak, I'm basically Canadian now.
Oh man, that's a good question. I don't know.
Did you ever ride the TTC? Did you ever go on a streetcar or take the subway?
I didn't actually. I wanted to do it this last time I was there. It was just so cold. Like I couldn't get I wanted to go do some photography and like jump in and do all this stuff that I didn't really get to do when I was there and I didn't get a chance. The next time I go, I'm going to do it. But I was always just around though. Like I've always been an observer, if you will, type 2. So it's kind of funny that it took so long for my pictures to start turning into that also. But I always was around. I just paid attention. I can't think of one thing, but I took it in and I talked to people and I try to like converse as much as I can.
Well, listen, if you're back in the summertime and as a photographer, go over to the Toronto Islands and then shoot the city from the islands and get that beautiful scenic with the CN Tower, all the buildings. That's really dope. And
see, I'm glad you said that because that wasn't even on my radar. I'm gonna do that for sure.
Okay, yes, and explore the whole island. Rent some bicycles or rent a bicycle, and it's not that big. It's taking me like 20 minutes, 20 minutes to go end to end. But you'll take some great photos. And there's like the island airport there too, so you get some great shots of like planes landing or taking off with the skyline in the background.
Thank you for that.
What if you're welcome? You're welcome. Okay, so we saw the photo of you sitting on the court taking photos. Who is the NBA player if like the audience could pay $19 a game to listen to their microphone the whole game because they're either ruthless or they're reckless or they're hilarious? Who would you recommend that we spend the $19 a game on if it was available to us as fans to listen to this person play an entire NBA game?
Is we talking about a Raptor or just anybody?
It could be a Raptor or anybody.
I mean, number one on the list right now is Anthony Edwards. It's Ant-Man. Like,
Yeah.
He's definitely number one on the list, right? Like because he's talking the whole game with his teammates and with the other guys, right? Like, and he's hilarious. Like he's just got a sense of humor in it, and I think that he's just entertaining in the most honest way, right? Like it's really coming through as genuine in him. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else. Draymond, you might have to bleep a lot of stuff out, but Draymond is definitely interesting.
Right. No, we want the uncensored feed.
You're going to learn a lot. You're going to learn a lot with Draymond because Draymond's going to communicate the game a certain way, him and LeBron James. Like, I think if you want to learn a lot, listen to LeBron James command the game. Like, he talks the whole time on the floor. He'll tell you what's going to happen before it happens because he knows rotations, things like that. So it just depends on what you're looking for. But those three guys are on my list. 1 and 2 are Bron and Ant.
Awesome. Last question from me, sir. What is one thing that photography has taught you that basketball never did?
Funny enough, all my terminology and my approach to it is a lot the same, right? Like I just shoot, right? Like I just shoot when it's and I figure it out. But what it's really done for me is just place me in the room even more so. Like when I have my camera, I'm just much more present. And I think that's something that can kind of get away for you in the NBA for a long time because you're always on the go. You're always talking about the next thing. You're always going to the next flight, the next practice. Like nothing gets a chance to really sit. So like you lose a game and we talk about whatever happens and the next thing someone says, it's like, all right, treatment's at this time, practice at this time, flight at this time, make sure you do this, make sure you do that. Like, so I think that's been a thing that's really helped me, especially on this side of my career, to be able to have that balance.
Nice, man.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And the photos that you've been taking for years, they really capture the moment. And you talk about being present. When you were at the Raptors Summer League practice that was happening on the ballroom court, did you kind of read or see anything and say somebody like a Jamal Shed or the rookie CMB? Is there any player that could have maybe stood out to you with their work ethic, that's someone that you did not play against when you were playing?
I mean, so Toronto, the Raptors have a history of finding the right young guys, right? Like, and they all have a good work ethic, so they all have a good approach to it, and it's expected. The energy that's placed in that gym and the way the young guys are approached with a serious manner as far as their development, it is expected. But Shed's leadership is obviously like he was known for it his whole life pretty much, right? Like, and you see it, he's not holding back in practices. I really like Elijah. I think he's competitive. Yeah. Like he's a dog, and I love watching guys and filming and photographing guys like that because they're gonna set tones and they're gonna change the room. And when I'm in there taking pictures, I'm trying to tell the story of whatever the game is telling at that point. And when you have guys that like shift stories, they're fun to have in the gym because they're gonna change the trajectory of the game when they get in. And you always love to have that.
I love that you picked that. Big fans of all of the players that you've said here. We are shed heads here on Off the Roster. Just 2 quick ones finally for me. About the NBA expansion, that the pretty much almost confirmed Board of Governors meeting that it'll go to Vegas and Seattle. When you hear about the expansion teams, how do you think, seeing a franchise back in Seattle, but also seeing one in Vegas, which I know for years Summer League has been there, how you can see the league expanding and growing in those 2 communities?
So Love Seattle because I came in the
Yes.
league when I had like 3 years there, and I missed it. I love that there was a team going back to Seattle, and they deserved one. They had a really great fan base. That gym was always rocking, always loud, no matter what time of the year we went. Vegas is, as the kids say, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be fun for some aspects of it. They've been trying stuff there, like you said, summer league, and they did the cup games there. But we'll see, because we have the rise in like the gambling and things like that. You just hope that doesn't turn into people like approaching players because they're in Vegas now. Like, that's what you don't want to come from that there are altercations from that. But I think the city itself, obviously, from a revenue standpoint, is going to make money, right? Like, that team's going to be success. It's going to make money. People are always there. Celebrities will come to the games. Even more reason to draw attention. But, I mean, we'll see.
Last hard-hitting question for me is not only say you capture the art on film, you had art on the court, but also with the music. I believe the last time you released a music video was 2024, and I think it was for True. Are we going to get some new tunes from you?
Your timing is amazing. Nobody's asked me a question about that, but I just started just crafting some stuff. I just started like writing and getting some ideas down because I want to do that too, especially now that I've developed a better eye for imagery, doing my own photography and my side quests. I want to be able to match both those things. That was one of the reasons I think that really pushed me all the way into photography and imagery, because I wanted to be able to control all of my storytelling, from my writing to my pictures to everything I was doing. I wanted to be able to make them all cohesive. So I'm definitely in the works on that.
Nice.
I love to hear that. And we're going to get right now when we have you here. When you're either going to release a new single or you have a song finished, please let us test it out here on Off the Roster and hear from you the story behind the lyrics. Will you do that for us, CJ?
Yes, let's do that for sure. I've never had a chance to really do that. So yeah, I would do that.
Awesome.
Yeah, we got you. We appreciate your time. Thank you for letting me ambush you in LA at the All-Star game and now have you on the podcast.
I told you things happen the way they're supposed to happen, right? Like, it was very random, though. You told them the story? Have you told them the story?
I haven't. So I'll just tell everyone, and you can let us know your perspective. And for anybody that knows me, I'm pretty shy and not great at this job because I will not approach people. And so I'm walking outside of the All-Star game where the Clippers play at Intuit Dome, and I see CJ, and I kind of look like, it's CJ Miles. And I'm like, I am so sorry to bother you. Toronto reporter, you won't know who I am. We have this great podcast in Canada. We've been trying to get you on. We've been reaching out to agents, but we haven't heard anything back. Would you be open to this? And this is so out of character for me. And I'm like honestly sweating. And as nice as you could be, you gave me your contact information and said, yeah, I'll come on. So what was it like from your end seeing this random person come up to you? And I am so awkward as it is. So let me tell you, like even retelling the story, I'm getting sweaty.
The exchange wasn't as awkward as you make it seem. At least not to me. Maybe that was in your head. That was in your head. It seemed random because we were both, marching. We were going in and out. We were moving fast, heads kind of down. And I just happened to hear you and flag me down. And I just, and I didn't know. So I'm not going to say I wasn't ignoring you guys. I hadn't got a message about coming on. So I would have came on, obviously. But yeah, it wasn't as awkward as you make it seem. It just was funny because at the end, I could sense that you were kind of like edgy about it. You started giggling a little bit. You were like, I don't know how to really, because we didn't even put the phone number in the contacts, like put it in the notes, like of your phone.
Yes,
like you were trying to get out of there as fast as possible.
Well, thank you for trying to play it off that I'm not as awkward as I am and coming on here. And we cannot wait to have you on next time to talk more about your music and everything else. CJ, we appreciate you and also hope you had an awesome birthday yesterday.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me.
Happy birthday. Thanks, man. Thank you so much.
He is so nice. Let me tell you it. I am awkward. We know this, but yeah, it's so out of character for me to just walk up to someone. But if anybody's ever picked up a camera, if you go look at his social media feeds, the way that he captures the emotions of the players, or also when he had a delay in the airport, it's not an easy thing to do. And I'm saying this from somebody who has tried. I am terrible at even taking iPhone photos. So it'll be interesting, but I'm curious if Jay Rosehill, the former Toronto Maple Leaf and co-host of Leafs Morning Take, what his photography skills are. Jay, are you out there just capturing the wildlife? First of all, good morning.
Hello.
What are your like, give us the tea on your photography skills. We just had former NBA player C.J. Miles on, who's taken up a career in photography. Has this ever crossed your mind? Are you a sleuth with the camera?
No, I'm not. I don't know. I'll be outside having a couple of drinks and I'll think the moon looks pretty cool and I'll take a picture of it with my iPhone and it just looks like a speck on the thing and I'm like, this is brutal. Yes. And that's about as far as I go with it.
Same.
I can't wait to follow that up with another great question before I ask you a serious one. When we started the show, I'm here at spring training for the Toronto Blue Jays, seeing your buddy Max Scherzer, who was on your guys' show. Great interview. And we're talking about dusters, mustaches, because Dylan Cease has one he's just rocking, as well as Kevin Gausman. So we're talking about the mustache coming back. Has this ever been brought up to you that you should grow a Tom Selleck-style mustache?
It never has. My wife doesn't really like facial hair. I'm not good at growing it. I went to the Calder Cup final once and let it rock, and it was like a catfish. Just like they just curled into my mouth. They were sparse. It was disgusting. Nobody was into that.
That actually is nasty. I love playoffs for that. When you see the guys just struggling, Mitch Marner just would get roasted for years. And the whole time during the interviews, I honestly would just stare at his mustache being like, what is that? But anyways, now to more important questions. The 3-day GM meeting that happened in Florida for NHL GMs, they just wrapped up. Bettman spoke. He was asked about the playoff format, many wanting it to go back to what it was like before 2014. Are you someone of that mindset?
Yeah, I am. I remember I was playing for Philly when they changed that, and it was interesting. You understood the concept. You thought that I guess the idea behind it would create rivalries, and maybe it has, but it also lends to a lot of problems as well. And you're seeing that like in the Central Division, for example. You could have some heavyweight teams, and they deserve to go deep into the playoffs, but when two really good teams play each other, one's going home in the first round, and it's kind of tough. And you get some of the same matchups that are kind of stale, like Calgary and LA. I would love to see it change. It doesn't seem like they're too into doing that. Bettman's pretty hard-headed and stuck in his ways, and he seems to like it. But I understand the complaints around it. It's starting to become obvious as these years go on.
Yeah, I mean, that first round Central matchup is probably going to be Dallas and Minnesota, or Colorado and Minnesota. It's like
crazy.
Oof. And if you're Minnesota right now, it kind of sucks because it's like you're stuck in this third spot in the division. Like the rest of the season doesn't really matter. Wins or losses aren't going to change anything for the Wild.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, right? You do what Billy G's done, and you build this team, and you get them to where they're at, and you're stuck in that division. Your window doesn't last forever. All of a sudden, you're kind of cooked. I think you should have a spot to you build a team and you do things right and you develop and you get to that place where you're that high in the NHL. You should play a lower seeded team and be able to build your way into the playoffs. And I think that's what the 82 and soon to be 84 game season is meant to do, is reward those teams that go through that grind and have the success in the regular season. And it seems like there's kind of too many situations where you're not able to do that just with the format that sits right now.
So we've seen the fallout of the post Matthews injury via Radko Gudas and what it's had on the Maple Leafs roster. They've had a fight in 5 straight games. They're averaging over 25 penalty minutes a night since then. Are you buying the Leafs' newfound physicality?
No, I mean, it's good. It's just more frustrating than anything because they're capable of it. Like, where was this all year long? The ship has sailed. It's too late now, but you're going to start putting on the give a care meter now, and you're going to play heavy and play for each other when your season's over. It's just kind of insult to injury to some people, I think, that really care about this team. And there was a plethora of opportunities for these guys to play with some heart and some desire all season long. They never bothered to. And then it took literal public humiliation across the entire hockey world for them to now start showing that they're capable of it when they're not even playing for anything and it's completely irrelevant. So to be honest, I kind of see it as almost insult to injury just based on the fact they're proving that they're capable of it.
Yeah, it's a lot of like, where's this been all season long? And, I think a lot of, discussion is going to be had, like, okay, these final games, it's about culture building, and I get it. Like, what are players supposed to say otherwise after games when we know that this is all going to end up in a non-playoff appearance? But William Nylander's the highest paid guy on the team. I'm watching that third goal the other night, and he's kind of, he has a failed clear, and then he's not cleaning up the passing lanes, and he's dogging it a little bit, and they get that third goal. And it's like, if you're going to talk about culture, like, the guy who has to be a culture carrier is the guy who's now the highest paid player on the team and on the ice. And I just, I love Willie for what he is, but I don't know if he's that guy, Jay.
I know what you mean. I struggle with it too. He's I mean, this whole core four era, or those three guys that they drafted, they're hyper talented. Like, nobody has ever second guessed that. And yes, it's hard to find talent, and yes, you need talent, but there's more layers to this game than just that. And talent alone, I think these Leafs have learned over the last 10 years, that doesn't get you far. That doesn't get you very far at all. And you're seeing it right now that, the culture and the leadership and the ability to have the other intangibles that are very important in this league. Look at the teams that go deep in the Stanley Cup. They have that in spades. This team's always had question marks beside that. And I feel like it's a stamped job now. They don't have that in them. And Willie, as talented and as likable as he sometimes is, sometimes it's just flat out disrespectful to his coach, his teammates, that organization, the league, when he's just out there dogging it, going for a twirl. And, his numbers look pretty good. He still puts up numbers. He's hyper talented, but when he's dogging it out there and doing the things that you say, it's just so hard to watch. And when you know what the team's problem is, and you're trying to figure out a solution to how do we overcome this and get to a place where we have that type of culture in the locker room, and Willie's still going out there doing a twirl like that, I think it raises questions about him, and I'm just really, really curious to what the future of this Maple Leafs team is and what direction they're going to go.
Yeah, it's a big offseason to figure some of that out. And, John Tavares, he signed the very team-friendly contract, so, he's still a good player. He still produces well, but the second half of this season has kind of showed us he's maybe not a second-line center at this stage of his career. Just to give some context, since the new year, so January 1st, he's been on the ice for 14 goals scored and 27 against at even strength 5-on-5. That's more goals against than any other player, any other forward in the league, I should say. I don't know how, whether it's Brad Treliving or somebody else, like, half the league, more than half the league, is looking for a second-line center. I don't know how the Leafs fix this issue, because John Tavares is just better suited to play a lesser role. He can't be your third-best forward anymore if you're going to build a playoff contender.
Yeah, and I think that when he signed that, he went team-friendly for a reason. His previous contract, making $11 million, and probably, I think people could, even though he had a really good last season, to that contract, he probably wasn't worth that. And I don't know if he liked that feeling, and he took a more team-friendly deal, probably knowing that he was going to slide down a little bit. So the contract's not the problem. And moving him down to 3C, I don't think is the problem. I think he could be a really good 3C, like one of the best bottom six guys in the league. It's just, I think that he's starting to get exposed a little bit in the top six, playing against those matchups. That being said, where do you go and find a 2C? As you mentioned, everyone and their dog is looking for that right now. So again, more reason to think that Treliving's going to have to be creative, or whoever the general manager is. Again, everyone's just waiting for this season to be over so we can hear MLSE and Pelly and Treliving and whatever the announcements are and whatever the story and whatever the direction this team is going, and then what they actually accomplish in the offseason. It's going to be interesting. I hope it's interesting. I hope they get creative. I hope they find ways to bring in what they need and make the changes that are necessary. But you could go on for a while about a lot of different situations, and there's certainly holes and question marks all over this roster.
Jay, good morning. Cabbie here. I think we were talking about this the last time you were on, but if there are Maple Leafs on this team who are auditioning for their next teams, whose audition do you think is going well right now?
Oh, good question. Woll has been playing great, and I'm not saying he's auditioning for another team, but he's been looking pretty good. Oil on the back end. And it's a tough question, man. I mean, Bo Grew, like he's auditioning to try to make this team next year. Is a Marlies call-up player, and it's tough. You look at Bobby McMahon coming here, and we want to showcase him, and he's one of these rentals we want to move and try to retain assets from, and he's not really doing much of anything. And then he gets dealt, and he absolutely pops off. It's just so predictable. I don't know. Like this week, we've been saying, is there like a vortex in that locker room or something where when good players come there, they can't accomplish anything, and as soon as they leave, they get their powers back? Like it's wild, man. And when it rains, it pours. You're trying to get me to talk about someone that's doing something well as an audition. There's not much going on. They got publicly humiliated in the entire landscape of the hockey world just recently. They've blown their season. They had a chance to make it right after the Olympics. Just this limp effort. Everyone's questioning their stars and their best players. It's just like, take your pick on what to focus on. I can't even come up with guys that are doing anything all that well, to be honest with you. It's a calamity of all kinds of negativity right now, and it sucks to talk about. It sucks to do a show on them because it's a lot funner when they're rolling and you can be positive. But man, they have fallen from grace so fast. It's kind of shocking.
I think showcase was the word that we used before, because when things aren't going well, then the guys are playing for the next contracts. As you mentioned, Bo Grew is playing to make the team the next year, and funner, fantastic word. One point. As you made about, like, is the Toronto Maple Leafs a vortex? I wonder if it's similar, like in baseball. Not everybody can play in New York. Not everybody can play for the Yankees. Guys have great careers outside of New York, and then you come there, like only a specific kind of player can play there. And maybe it's similar in Toronto. A conversation for a future time. Mm-hmm. Continuing on positive vibes. Again, this is going to be, this question shouldn't be as hard as it is, but due to the present circumstances of the hockey club, things aren't all that great. But is there a rookie or a depth player that is playing so well that you could see that person having a future with the club? Like, yeah, this guy is a future Maple Leaf for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. Like someone who when you watch him play, like, oh yeah, this person can succeed here.
Yeah, I think Easton Cowan's got that stuff. I mean, obviously the team success wasn't there, but personally for a kid of his age to come in as a rookie in the National Hockey League in that market with all the things that were going on around him, I think he handled himself very well. I thought he developed. I thought he shows tons of promise. So if he continues on the trajectory that he's been on the last 2 or 3 years with constantly getting better, I like his stuff. I like he's got a bit of bulldog in him. He's got some skill in him. Hopefully the culture and the lack thereof, the camaraderie and the team first mentality that is lacking on this organization. Hopefully that doesn't rub off on him and he doesn't think that this is the way to be a pro, because this team has embarrassed themselves this year. But as far as a future, I see him. I see Matthew Knies. I see Joseph Woll. I think there's guys 100% that have a future with this club, and they're looking for more of those types.
Oof, I cannot wait to see what happens when the season is over when it comes to the organization of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and I cannot wait to watch Leafs Morning Take with you. And Nick, thank you so much for your time today, and may you never grow that mustache back again that you rocked before. Thanks, Jay.
I wouldn't count on it. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jay.
Oh man, he always brings the heat. I absolutely love their show. I love the takes that they have, and it's really, I'm so curious to see what's going to happen with this organization when the season is done. And I know that was a conversation and question surrounding the Toronto Blue Jays. What is going to happen with some of the young guns like Trey Yesavage when it came to his pitching? How much would they use him this year? So guys, it's time now for what is the next big thing, brought to you by Coca-Cola. The excitement of the FIFA World Cup 26 is bubbling up in every fan and every can of Coke. And nothing can contain the joy and passion. So purchase a Coca-Cola at your local retailer and get ready for FIFA World Cup 26. No purchase necessary for Canadian residents only. You must be 13 or older and with a web device.
Ends April 20th. Math skill test required.
Rules at cokeurl.com/soccerrulesca.
When we talk about the Toronto Blue Jays, guys, what do you think, or who do you think will be the next big thing?
Well, I think I've loved what Addison Barger's done here in spring, but we got to talk about the guy who is having like the spring of all springs in Dalton Varsho. I mean, I don't like to take a ton out of like spring training numbers, especially when a lot of the best players were off at the WBC, but these numbers pop off the page. He's hitting 400 with a 1317 OPS. He's hit 4 dingers so far in this preseason, and it comes off the back of, I know there was some moments in the playoffs like, hey, Dalton, get a ball to the outfield, but you know, in the regular season, it was an incredible return for the amount of games he played through the injuries. He had a ton of home runs, and you see him now going into a contract year. I think we're sleeping on Dalton Varsho's bat being a real big differentiator for this Blue Jays team.
I love it. My question is more macro, and I'm not exactly sure what the answer is yet. But the macro question is, what will be the Toronto Blue Jays identity in 2026? Just hang with me here for a second, because over the past decade, the Toronto Blue Jays have forged multiple identities. In 2015 and 2016, it was the bat flip era. Dan just ran through some of Dalton Varsho's numbers, but 10 years ago, a trio of sluggers were just smashing home runs at the Skydome. Jose Bautista, Edwin Encarnacion, and the 2015 MVP, Josh Donaldson. 240 home runs from those 3 players in 2 seasons. And then we were introduced to the Baby Jays. This era was like 2019 to 2022. Bo Bichette makes his debut in 2019. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. makes his debut in 2019. Kevin Biggio makes his debut in 2019, and in 2021, Alek Manoah made his debut. This was a great era too, showing a lot of promise for the future. And then to 22 to 25, there was a defense-first philosophy, and that's when the front office prioritized defensive upgrades at the premium positions with strong defensive metrics. Dan was talking about Dalton Varsho's bat, but Dalton Varsho's glove is even more impressive. He was traded to Toronto in December of 22 for elite prospect Gabriel Moreno, and he is an elite defender with a left-handed bat with pop. Kevin Kiermaier was a 3-time Gold Glover who came to the club in 2023. And Matt Chapman was a 3-time Gold Glover as well, who came to the club in May of 22 playing third base. So those were just 3 players who really changed the culture and really changed the defensive mindset and the metrics for the Toronto Blue Jays. And now we're in 2026. The Jays are a very deep and balanced team. They're built to withstand the unpredictability of 162 games and big-time free agent signings who we've already mused about his mustache. Dylan Cease joins the club as a starting pitcher, probably starting pitcher number 2. And then Kazuma Akamoto, a Japanese slugger with elite plate discipline, joins the club. So will we get more of a balanced pitching squad or dominant pitching squad? Or will we see a team that's elite at the plate, generating a bunch of runs and smashing the ball to right center or left center field at Rogers Center? That's what I'm curious about as the next best big thing. What will be the Toronto Blue Jays identity? Lindsay, we mentioned Trey Yesavage. We mentioned Dalton Varsho. Are there one of those 2 players you think will be the next big thing for this club?
Yeah, I will keep mine short right now as I am watching the Toronto Blue Jays take a little bit of BP before most of the squad heads over to TD Ballpark for their afternoon game today, where Vladdy and both Ernie Clement are back in the lineup. I love all of the points you guys made, and watching them right now, I'd say absolutely Dalton Varsho's bat will be the next big thing. He has hit homer after homer, or deep hits into the outfield right now, just watching batting practice alone. And in an interview we had here on Off the Roster, he spoke about his health last year going into spring training. He missed the entire spring training as he was recovering from shoulder surgery. He missed the beginning of the season, and then unfortunately he got injured again during the season. The way that he's been hitting, the form that he has, I'm so optimistic and excited for him. And I love that he was able to shut down a lot of the haters that, you brought up Cabbie about when he was traded to the Toronto Blue Jays. Many fans were upset over the deal that the Toronto Blue Jays made to bring Dalton in, and that not only his bat, but you mentioned his glove. I think he's going to have another fantastic season, and I am watching Big Oak hit right now, and it is magical. We will have some video for you on.
I just heard the crack of the bat, and I'm like, whoa.
And it is my fault.
Children there too. I hear like children in the background.
There's a couple, two Brave ran up and got an autograph from Max Scherzer, but we will have video of this on our social media, and tomorrow we will show a little bit of batting practice. You can hate on me in the comments. It's my fault. I do not have the second shot up, but you can hear right now that the bats, they are blazing right now for the Toronto Blue Jays, and a lot of storylines surrounding this team as players enter their final year of a contract, including Dalton Varsho and Kevin Gausman. Kevin Gausman, I'll just paraphrase what he had to say, that he's open and wants to sign again with the Toronto Blue Jays. Also, guys, I don't know if you can hear the music. We've had Getting Jiggy With It by Will Smith. Right now, it's No Scrubs by TLC, and I can see George Springer is mouthing the words to this. But Gausman, are you guys looking forward to, would you like to see him potentially sign another contract with the Toronto Blue Jays? He had a fantastic season last year with the Blue Jays, including some phenomenal performances in the playoffs.
I mean, if you look at Gausman's 5 years with the Jays, he's, going into his 5th year. I was kind of curious what the contract was going to look like when they gave it out, but he has been huge value for the money. A $110 million contract over 5 years. You look at what pitchers are getting paid now on the free agent market. Gausman has brought that ROI and then some, and he's getting a much-earned opening day start. This is one of those things where at his age, you kind of have to play it by ear a little bit, see how things go. If we continue to see this Kevin Gausman continue to, hone his craft, have that splitter working, and still have a ton of success, I see no reason why you don't bring him back over the next 2-3 years. Maybe it's a shorter term deal, but he's one of the greatest free agent signings that this franchise has ever had. And I don't think that's hyperbole. That's reality. So bringing Kevin Gausman back, I don't know if it's a priority right now, but as the season goes on, that's definitely a conversation the Blue Jays should look to have.
Boy, I really got to think about that one. Who are among the greatest free agent signings in the Toronto Blue Jays 50-year history? That's a great question. Something for us to chew on in the future. And I'm like you, Dan. I'm kind of in a wait and see pattern. I mean, he's 35. And last year, almost pitched 200 innings, almost had 200 strikeouts. He's a workhorse. He's earned the privilege of being the opening day starter for the Toronto Blue Jays baseball club. But I guess we'll see. There are few pitchers who remain elite in their mid-30s and Max Scherzer is one, Justin Verlander is another in Baltimore. I mean, they're not still elite, but have been elite in their 30s and later in their careers. So we'll wait and see with Kevin Gausman. I'm optimistic. I think we are all optimistic that he can replicate some of the great performances that he had in 2025. But I'm also excited for the future. And Trey Yesavage, which just came out of nowhere. Bro was pitching in single A and then was lights out in the World Series with the biggest stakes. So, that is a legitimate diamond in the rough scenario. If this front office can find some more of those, it will be an exciting era for the Toronto Blue Jays as they try to get back to the World Series in 26. And we are here for all of it, Linz.
Yes. I am here for this. We're going to try to show you guys a little bit of batting practice in a moment. And while we go and try to look at that, I want to show you guys some food options that are happening in other ballparks. We're going to see if the Blue Jays have anything new next week when they have a media of kind of preview of the new renovations, but also the food. Let's take a look at what's happening in the Met Stadium. It's called the 9, 9, and 9, which is 9 beers, 9 hot dogs, and 9 innings. Probably for $9,000, actually. No, you're going on this? This looks like the best lunch ever.
I don't think this, though. You can't just have this as one person.
This is a one-person challenge. This is a one-person.
Man. This is 9,000 calories, bro.
This is it's something Blue Jays fans talked about for Looney Dog Tuesdays. Like, can you do the 9-inning challenge? You get 9 dogs, 9 beer in 9 innings. It is meant to be a one-person challenge. I don't know about a team trying to like promote this though as a challenge at their games. It might be a little dicey for a team to be trying to get people to do this, but I don't know. There's going to be some wobbly legs at Citi Fields watching Bo Bichette and the Mets if anybody's trying this challenge.
Well, listen, maybe as we said before, Bo Bichette playing defense is an acquired taste, and perhaps after a few beers,
maybe 9 beer will make it look a little bit better.
Make it look better, and it's good. You know, we've all been to the United States, and we know that their portion control is not on point. And you go to McDonald's or 7-Eleven, and it's 64 ounces for a drink. So it's nice to see that those beers look like they're about a cup, about 250 milliliters.
Yeah.
I think that's 8 ounces for our American listeners or viewers. So the portions look pretty good. The hot dogs look gigantic, but you definitely got to share that, bro. If you're going with like 3 buddies, maybe 2 of those for the 4 of you to eat over the course of the game, because if that's one person finishing that, your body's going to shut down by the 8th inning. You won't be able to see. You'll be able to talk. You got to get an Uber home. You can't brave the MTA in New York to get to wherever your destination is. Oh, there's definitely a kid crying over there.
There's a kid that does not like your take right now. Yeah. I don't know if we're able to take the other camera at all, Nick, or if anybody can let me know of what's happening here. There we go. So right now, Addison Barger is in the cage, and that kid hated your take, Cabbie. They're like, absolutely, I should be able to do 9, 9, and 9 whenever I want.
Kid wanted 9 beer. That's why they're crying.
Yeah, so you're looking at live batting practice right now here in Dunedin, Florida, before a number of these players head on the bus that's behind them to go take a little, game happening at TD Ballpark, which I believe is sold out in downtown Dunedin. So that's Addison Barger, and then you can see Jimenez is also standing there. He is wearing his Team Venezuela jersey. This is his first time being back at camp since winning the World Baseball Classic with his team. So, yeah, sun is happening. That was, man, guys, isn't that just a great sound?
I
don't even know if the audio works on that side.
There is nothing
we can
better.
Hear it. Oh, yeah.
Than the crack of the bat sound. Jimenez coming off the big one. Today's a day where Vladdy is getting back into a spring training lineup, I think for the first time after his WBC appearance. So it's coming quick. 8 days till the opener, and really the biggest question mark surrounding this team now is what the rotation's going to look like after Kevin Gausman is the opening day starter. You have the Jose Barrios injury, and Eric Lauer, who voiced some, I guess, displeasure that he wasn't going to, or he wasn't projecting to be a part of the rotation. Few injuries, and now, hey, Eric Lauer, guess who's our 5th starter? It's probably you. So that's why the Jays have so many arms, so much depth. They've still got Eric Lauer that they could call on in a pinch to help out the rotation, as Trey Yesavage still hasn't pitched in a game. Shane Bieber's not throwing off the mound yet, and obviously Jose Barrios is going to be out with the stress fracture in his arm, and it'll be a while before we see him again. So if there's one question mark going into the season now, it's what does this rotation look like?
Yes. And additionally, I'm so sorry. One other name that we haven't mentioned yet is Cody Ponce. Like, how will his game translate from the KBO to MLB? Yeah. That's a question mark. But I'm excited. Like, I'm looking forward to the season with wide eyes and a lot of optimism. So Cody Ponce, another guy that we'll see how his game translates.
I can see him currently walking right now wearing a Star Wars hoodie towards the bench with his Blue Jays bag, which story checks out for him. Yeah, everything checks out, is on brand for him. But
Nice,
what I
Dan.
always
Well
love
done.
is this part of the show, guys, to hear what your ProLine pick of the day is going to be. Because the new ProLine app is here. Betting online with ProLine Plus and betting in store with ProLine are both easier than ever with the new app. Has more sports, more leagues, and more markets than ever. Bet on March Madness all tournament long online with ProLine Plus or in store with ProLine. Dan, you're up first.
Yeah, my pick of the day, I am looking at a team that is red hot in the National Hockey League, and they need all the wins that they can get if they are going to lock down a playoff spot. That is the Columbus Blue Jackets hosting the New York Rangers, who are playing on the second half of the back-to-back. Blue Jackets are one of the best stories in the league right now. They need more wins, more dubs. Let's get them on our card tonight.
Excellent, sir. These picks are for entertainment purposes only. I'm staying in the association, and the much maligned Los Angeles Lakers are streaking right now, winners of 7 in a row. LA is on a 6-game road trip and are sitting third in the Western Conference. Miami is bunched up with Toronto, Atlanta, Philadelphia, and Orlando for the 5th to 9th seeds in the Eastern Conference. This is an important game for Miami, and for all the slander that Bam Adebayo took for passing Kobe Bean Bryant on the all-time single scoring list, I was part of that slander. He won't score 40 or 50, but a double-double coming off of a few days rest is in his sights this evening against the Lakers. Bam Adebayo to register a double-double against the Lakers, is my ProLine pick of the day.
I hope Bam scores 84 points tonight. That is what I would love to see in the association.
I thought you were going to be bold and be like Bam Adebayo for another 80-point game.
I should
Only a
have
double-double? Only a double-double?
Let's start with a double-double. Let's see how he does
He can
against
do
DeAndre
81.
Ayton and Ryu Hachimura. 81 against the Lakers would be poetic, actually. Or just stopping at 80. Let me just respect Kobe. Let me just stop at 80.
Oh, people would lose their mind over that, and I kind of am here for it. What I'm also here for is the Masters dinner menu. If you have not seen it, take a look at this. This is Rory McIlroy's dinner.
My God.
In his honor. And I'm just going to leave it. Yeah, it's amazing. We have rock shrimp tempura, yellow tuna. We have Wagyu. Oh my gosh. Sticky toffee pudding. How much do you think this...
Yeah,
I
bro.
was like, I can't
Wagyu
honestly
filet
read my
mignon.
screen.
Come on.
He's got a
Seared
little
salmon.
What do you
bit
think the price tag is? What is the price tag of this if we were invited?
If you were invited, or if like you're going somewhere that has this as like a prefix menu, you're probably looking at like what, $500 at least per chair, like per
American?
plate?
Yeah, I'd say somewhere between $400 and $500. Yeah,
that's without the wine pairing too.
Right. the Wagyu filet mignon alone has got to be somewhere 89 to like 120, probably on like at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. The seared salmon, that's right in my wheelhouse. I'll take that deep to left center field all day. Hey, salute to Rory McIlroy. This is a legit menu. Like, well done, sir.
Well thought. I don't know how he's going to show up, but might pick him for a slow start at the Masters this year. Don't know how his Thursday is going to be after his first Masters dinner, hosting his first Masters dinner. I want to know what's on Grandma Lindsay's like potential Masters dinner. Like if you were, are we talking like pizza pockets? Then we go to Mike and Ike's. And we finish.
Oh, that is a trash candy. How dare you put that slander with my name?
Main course.
Don't forget about mozzarella sticks.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, guys. I have not thought about this, even though I should have. I would start off with a delicious jumbo-size mozzarella sticks, followed up by the Toronto street vendors' hot dogs for a nice little appetizer. Then we would get Scotiabank Arena's buffalo chicken tenders with fries because they slap. Then we would have pizza flown in from Upland Pizza, now Triffon's Pizza, from Regina, Saskatchewan. Pepperoni pizza with extra cheese. It is the best pizza you will ever have. And then for dessert, not a big fan of dessert, so we would be having Old Dutch Chips boxed barbecue, which is the most superior flavor barbecue chip you can get, and unfortunately, you cannot get them Oh, you can get them in Calgary. I'm so jealous. You can't get them in Toronto or near Toronto. The closest place is Thunder Bay. So when I go back home or anyone I know, I absolutely make them pack that. So what would you guys add on your Masters and dinner? Let me tell you that my bill,
Lindsay, we need to add a side of Tums at the end of your meal.
I'm so lucky I don't get heartburn.
That's the only way to fix the achi though. So yeah, that's that would be on the Lindsay Dunn Masters dinner. I mean, come on, we're going full scale Italian meal here. You know, we got maybe start with like a nice caprese salad, maybe a little Italian wedding soup. We've got a bistecca fiorentina as the main course, maybe some lasagna on the sides, and a nice tiramisu with cannoli for dessert.
It's lasagna on the side. Lasagna is the main course. What do you mean on the side?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you know.
I'm going to need a nap.
Man, you guys got to come over for Christmas dinner one of these days. Yeesh.
Would love to.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Would love to. Send the jet, Dan Riccio. I would just add maybe for me just some jerk chicken sliders would be kind of nice. Like I love what Rory did with his menu. I love salmon, so there'll be maybe another seafood. Oh no, he did have some seafood in the appetizer. But yeah, I would just add some jerk chicken sliders, I think, and then have some sugar-free Red Bull. And maybe a little Grey Goose. Maybe.
Oh my gosh. Let us know what you would have on your Masters dinner plate. You're probably already letting us know in the chat, and we appreciate it. Can't wait to hear your reactions and everything about that tomorrow and Off the Roster, where we will be talking about maybe sliders, but hopefully no jerks. But maybe. You never know. We're going to talk baseball. We're going to talk Leafs. We're going to talk Raptors. So make sure to join us tomorrow for Off the Roster. Thank you for joining us.
Hope you enjoyed this video. If you want more Off the Roster content, make sure to like and hype this video and subscribe to the Nation Network YouTube channel.